Welcome to Beyond the Lab, a series by the Office of Career Development within the Biomedical Research, Education, and Training Department of the Vanderbilt University School of Medicine. My name is Kate Stewart. I'm here today with Lisan Smith. You were in the pharmacology department while you were here. So thank you for coming back. Tell us about what you did when you were here at Vanderbilt.
Sure. I was in Dr. B. Washay's lab, and I focused on scaffolding proteins, so looking at protein-protein interactions, particularly with PDZ proteins and serotonin receptors.
Okay, so what do you do now?
I work in tech transfer.
Okay.
Yep, I work in the Office of Technology Management at the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign.
Okay, so
what do I do?
Yes, what do you do every day? What do you do?
Okay, so I've been there for just over a year now, and I co-manage the life science and healthcare portfolio. So essentially, I identify the intellectual property that's created by the life scientists on campus, and identify what type of intellectual property is, what type of protection that might need, and then identify opportunities to market that once we've determined a route of protection.
Okay, awesome. What if someone were to follow you into the office? What would they see? What were some of your activities that you do? Yeah, day to day.
Sure. So it varies day to day, which is something that I like. I like the variety. So there are some days where I have investigator interviews. So I will actually go and meet with the different inventors. It might be a graduate student and a PI. It could be a postdoc and a PI, but essentially some days I'll sit down and talk with them for about an hour, tell me about the research that you've done, the new intellectual property that you've created, what's its impact, what's its use, are there potential licensees that you know about, and then what we do is I work with interns to help screen that type of intellectual property. So we're trying to look at marketability. Is there a market for this? What is the potential market for it? Who would be potential licensees? And then from that, determine, are we going to market this technology? Are we going to monitor it because it's kind of at an early stage?
Sure.
How are we going to protect it? Are we going to do the patenting route? When should we start filing a patent, a provisional application, and start making decisions in terms of what the investment from the university side is going to be, and then look for opportunities to find licensees.
Okay, so did you know that tech transfer was going to be what you were going to do when you were here at Vanderbilt? No. How did you get there? What were some of the kind of key points that highlights for you?
Sure. So I've had a pretty diversified career path and experience. So after leaving here, I did do a postdoc for about 2 years. Through that, I had a fellowship that was part of the UNCF Merck UNCF Merck postdoctoral fellowship. So I had a Merck mentor, had an opportunity to apply for a position within neuroscience at Merck. So I worked in industry, I worked in nonprofit, I've worked in business development, sales. So I've worked with contract research organizations. So having been at an academic setting, been on the business side of things, being able to come full circle in terms of bringing everything together from the business side, the science side. It's an area that I was introduced to when I was at Merck, but it's one that I really started to get a little taste of when I worked in business development, because there's some small service contracts, some legal type stuff, but now I do more heavy license agreements where there's more license terms, patent related questions, and so it's lots of experiences pulled together that I was able to kind of leverage for this experience, and enjoying it. Yeah.
So we have students who are interested in tech transfer. What are some of the things that they should know, maybe either to do now or as they pursue that career, what they should know to do?
Sure. Some of the things that come to mind are look for opportunities to participate while you're a graduate student, either extracurricular activities, are there student groups you can be a part of? While I was here, I was part of the HIV/AIDS education outreach that we have here. So I did that for a while, was part of, Brett had a student council group, so I was part of that for a little bit. So there were just different opportunities to experience working with others across the table, people who are in other disciplines, listening to those people, trying to address those needs, developing tasks and getting them those tasks done. It's amazing how many things, when you sit down and think about, that you actually do over the course of a week, a month, a year, that kind of are translational skills. So I think it's learning to identify what those translational skills, even when you're in the lab, you might coordinate one of the graduate symposiums, you might coordinate the farm forum, just different things like that allow you to engage with people that are external to the university,
right.
have conversations with them that you can then rely on or pull back on to pull into a role like this.
Awesome. So you've had to do some networking, I'm sure, through the course of your career, and
yes.
especially looking like you've pieced together some things to finally get into tech transfer.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of your personal strategies that have really helped you along, networking-wise?
Sure. Informational interviews are great. Those are just opportunities when you identify somebody who has a role that you're interested in, reaching out to them and saying, hey, can I learn a little bit more about what you do? I'll buy coffee, I'll buy lunch, can we meet for breakfast? Just something where it gives them a platform to talk about what they do, and then I can ask them, can you tell me about your typical day?
Mm-hmm.
What are the things that you like about your job, don't like? What are the things that you would change? What were, very similar to this, like what were the experiences that helped get you to that job, or what do you look for when you're going to hire somebody? So all of those were kind of strategies that I utilized through the process. What I learned through that is they, in turn, will ask me things that I like to do, and then they provide leads for me or provide introductions to me to other people to actually move me into the direction that I want to go into or make those contacts with folks. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Sort of as your last question, what sort of words of wisdom would you give current graduate students and trainees, either just now about to start the career search or just while they're in graduate school?
Okay. Don't give up. You can learn from every situation. There's something that can be learned, and I think it's just a matter of sometimes stopping, taking a deep breath, even when you're challenged, when you have unexpected challenges arise, that you can come back and say, okay, what did I learn from this? What were the takeaways? What would I do different if the situation were different? Because not wanting to experience those situations again, but also wanting to say, well, is there something I could have done that would have produced possibly a different outcome?
Sure.
I think really helps continue to keep the ball moving forward and
right.
to maintain a level of positivity, like, okay, this isn't the end of the road. That job that I just had wasn't forever, or the first job I'm going to get, it's not necessarily going to be forever, and just realizing that there are just steps to get to where you eventually want to get to. It's okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.